you find yourself hitting a fade unintentionally, maybe you didn't have your low point forward enough to get that path to the right and a draw shape. Because the draw curvature needs an in to out path, a path to the right, and to get that the low point needs to be forward of the ball. So we're striking down and on the out. If we take this hoop as a representation of the swing and we take this part of the arc as the hitting area, this stick here gives us an indication of where the path is at this moment in time on the arc. So for example, if my low point is too far back, here's the low point, we can see as I get to the golf ball, the path is starting to go to the left. Without trying to swing to the left, we get a path to the left, even though we're swinging straight, or we think we're swinging straight. So the low point really does influence the path at impact. Alternatively, if the low point is in front of the ball, so now we've got a low point, we can see the path is going to the right, even though the swing hasn't changed. So low point is that all-important factor to get that draw curvature by virtue of that draw path, as opposed to that fade path that we didn't intentionally play for. That fade shot that we just kind of live with because that's what our swing produces. We're brushing the grass and we're getting good contact, so the low point must be okay because we're making contact, we're not thinning the ball, but actually we're not making the contact with the ground we need to. And it's this interaction with the ground that I want to talk about and discuss further, because this can make the biggest change to your golf game to get that draw. So what is low point? Well, if we think about low point, it's actually the lowest point of the golf swing, and the iron is designed to strike the golf ball on the descent. So we're actually now reducing the loft and bringing the sweet spot to the ball, which also brings the leading edge into play. So now we can get that all-important club-turf interaction as we're releasing the club. The bounce guides the club back out and we're compressing the ball optimally. So we're going to get that feel of compression, that soft, powerful feeling that we get when we hit it out of the centre of percussion like beating a drum. That's the strike we're looking for, and so therefore this golf club requires a certain delivery, and we can already start to appreciate the orientation of the whole club to achieve this impact. If you'd like to low point in relation to the butt end of the club and how we trail it, click on the link above and that'll take you to a tutorial where we delve into exercises to develop that spatial awareness. But in this video what we're looking at is what is contributing to create this. Where does this movement come from? You might be trying to move this club as one, where actually in the golf swing one end of the club is doing something very different to the other end. So when we sense this, or when we intend to release the club, is really important, because we might be doing it too early in an effort to get the club head to the ball, but the problem is it starts to shallow, and therefore the low point now is moving back as the club head is moving to the ball, and it's too shallow. So we get that brushing of the surface at best, adding loft, but also as the low point moves back, here's the low point, the path is left. By the time the club gets to the ball, it could be on a fade path because the low point's moving back and it's compromising that delivery. So our intention with our swing may be misplacing our effort in an area where it's actually causing the problem we're trying to fix. In an effort to play the draw, we might be creating a fade, purely because we're not aware of how we're influencing the low point and what effect that has on the path. So what shifts that low point? And what we're going to look at is the wrecking ball action. The analogy of the wrecking ball is perfect for how they function in a swing, because we've actually got to go past impact to reach impact. We're not swinging to impact, we're actually going past it for the club to swing to it. And I'm going to show you now how we do it with the medicine ball. Now you don't need a medicine ball, you can use anything. You might have seen videos out there with kettlebells, you could use a heavy bag, or you could use a basket with range balls in it. Ideally, we just want the hands opposing each other like this. If you can do it without a weight, that's even better, but the weight just helps to create some form of reference. Visualizing a wrecking ball in your mind, using the shoulders to swing it. Now most people start this action moving the body and the ball together, and they associate this with a golf swing. But that's not a golf swing. that's probably just going to exacerbate our problems, because as I swing down, look where my left shoulder's going. It's going up. So as I'm swinging the club down, this is going up. What that's doing is raising the low point off the floor. So I've got a golf club that's going down and I'm going up. What I'm missing is the first move. What I'm missing is the change of direction. So once you've swung back, the left shoulder doesn't go up, it's got to go down. And it's got to go down probably far more than you've ever experienced or imagined you would need to, so that we can get the impact we're after. So we're going to change the movement with the medicine ball. We're going to make it a real wrecking ball action. So we're going to start to rock the shoulders. And now this looks very different. Now we've got a big tilt, and this is the shoulder tilt. So the ball isn't rotating. This is not a rotation around the body. This is a lateral flexion. This is a side bend. So the ball is just swinging side to side, up and down. But the shoulders lead the action. So when I swing back, the right shoulder goes down and then up. And then the left shoulder goes down and up. But there's a lateral shift. And this might be something that feels really uncomfortable, because we might sense we're moving off the ball. And we can't move off the ball. We've got to keep that head still, remember, to strike that ball. But actually, we don't. Actually, the head may appear to be stable, but that's just because everything else is moving freely. We're allowing this extremely important component of rotation to take effect. We're actually allowing this to influence that low point because we recognise it. And this is the exercise to help attune our senses to it, so we can regulate it. So everything's set up now for a perfect delivery. We're creating the conditions for a natural freewheeling action, a perfect delivery, without having to think about the delivery, because we're creating a sequence, and the body knows how to respond because it does this with all other primitive actions. We use a similar shift, particularly with throwing and hitting actions. This is normal because there's going to be a lateral movement which allows us to then use the vertical, and this is the lateral movement. But it's not just lateral, we're going down, ready to go up. And that's when the vertical kicks in. So we're setting up not only a functional low point for the draw shape, the strike, the flight, but also for the body to use the vertical force and to use the ground to tap into our power. So this is the wrecking ball exercise to familiarise ourselves with the action. But then how does this integrate with a swing with a club in the hands? We can, as I mentioned earlier, just adapt the exercise, so you don't need to use a medicine ball. Just take a karate chop grip and use the golf club as the medicine ball. And remember, it's not this. We're not moving together. That's how most people associate a swing. But this isn't a sequence. This is really just everything moving together in a low point that is going to be seriously hard to control. We're actually going past impact to push the ground to move back. And as we're moving back and up, the club is going down. And that is swinging towards impact, while the upper body is actually moving back because we've moved left and down. So now as we go up, we get a strike, we get a serious divot. But what you can do is start to play around with the amount of divot you're going to get. That was cleaner, so now I can spend longer going down and I can come up later. So you can start to control the divot with the up and down motion. And that's how you're going to strike these irons and get that draw shape every time without even thinking, and you'll be the guy who everyone says is a natural drawer of the ball.